So, hi guys, welcome to the third session. So, today we will be we will be seeing how Recyclerview works. We will make an example app, like a contacts type, not, not very complicated anything. We will just see how we can do a lot of things with Recyclerview. So, without wasting anything, I think we should just get into it. So, can I just share my screen, Abhishek? Yeah, thanks. So before I get into coding, I want to just tell you about a recyclable a little bit. So normally we have list views where we only have a text that we scroll up and down, right? But in case of recycler view, we can have multiple things in that item of a list, right? Like images, texts, timestamps, and a lot of things. So what is the advantage of recycler view is when you are using a recycler view, you can have a lot of items in your list, right? Right. There can be hundreds or thousands of items. Now, for if each of those items, if there is a view holder created, then it will be a lot of memory usage, right? So what we do instead is whenever an item is scrolled up, that item's view is recycled with the next data, and we just see it when we are scrolling it again, right? So how do we make a recycler view, right? So let's just go into it. Another thing before getting into it, I would like to say that in recycler view, you have an item, that is the item it will be displayed. It will be a class that will be created, an adapter that will extend a recycler view adapter with and a view holder inside it that will process it, and a recycler view itself. So for that, first of all, this is an empty uh, project that I just created right now. I created it beforehand, so to save some time with the Gradle processing, I just need to add a extension first, and then we will get into coding actually. So let me quickly add it. Okay, there we have it. Now, first of all, we have this main activity that is empty. I'm gonna delete this hello world. Okay, I just deleted the constraint. Sorry. Yeah, so we have an empty activity with nothing in it. So let's just add a recycler view. But before doing that, I want to do something else. Let me just use the magnifier because last time you guys weren't able to see. So for a recycler view, we need an object, right? So for that, we will just right click here, click a new Kotlin class, and we will name this item. That should do. And with that, our new item is object is created. I will just add a few just a second. This is a constructor, so I will just add a few things that I need to access. That is, well, name. Let's make this a contacts type of thing. And well, number. Let's make it also string because it will be a phone number type of thing. And we want to show a display image that we can access with the resource ID. So it will be an integer. So we can just write well icon ID and it will be an int. And just like that, our object is created here, finished. There is not much. Will be a very basic example. So there won't be anything much complicated. Now let's create a drawable resource, right? For a drawable, actually we need a layout. With this layout, we will just define how our recycler view items will look. So let's name this thing item layout. And the root element, I want to change it to linear layout. Okay. So now we have a vertical linear layout here. I want it to be actually I want it to be horizontal. I'll tell you why. So let's just add an image view first. We're just gonna select the sample images for now. We're gonna add two text views. And before that, we need the text views to be vertical, right? So we're gonna add a vertical linear layout here, just like this. And we're gonna add text view. Text view 1 and text view 2, just like this. Now what we're going to do is we're going to change the height to wrap content. And for this one as well, we are going to do to wrap content. For the image, we can just call it, it's fine actually, the image is, let's set the images weight to 1. Just remove the weight here and we'll set the image to 64 dp. Same here. I'm assigning a fixed value for now, but it will be fine. Also, I want to change the image use ID to, let's say, item icon. Just refactor it. Inside the linear layout, I want to change the text views ID to item name. Also, I want to change a few things. The text style, I want it to be bold, and also the size. Let's set it to 18 sp. And for color, just black. And for the second text view, let's call it item number factor. For the text, let's not change the text yet. And for the styling, I want to change the size 14 sp to 16 sp. Yeah. And as for the linear layout itself, we don't need to give it an ID because we are not addressing it at the moment. We just need to change the gravity. I'm going to change the layout gravity to center, and this way it will stay like this. Also, we want the linear layout width to wrap content as well. Why, I will tell you in a moment. And we want some margin. So let's first give this a margin of 3 dp, and the linear layout is okay with the margin. Let's just give it a padding of 3 dp. And as for the linear layout, root layout itself, let's give it a padding of 2 dp. And let's give it a background color. So we can just start with writing triple F, that is white. Just select this and just it a bit. This should be fine. Yeah, easy, easy, easy. So there we have the layout of our Recyclerview item. Now let's get into coding. I mean, we are coding technically so far. So we have this item, right? Now we want to use this item in a recycler view that will be shown here one by one. And we can have them in any order. It can be a grid layout. It can be in a list fashion, in whatever way we want. So for that, we will need an item adapter. Now right now I am creating these Kotlin class files over here only, but you should practice creating a new package inside this. That is, create a new folder and put your models and adapters inside that. So I'm going to create an adapter. So let's name this item adapter. Did I write it right? Okay. So we have our adapter class. Now since we are coding, I'm gonna turn my magnifier off. And I will also check if there are any questions. No, I don't think there are any questions. Let's continue. So first of all, for the item adapter, we need a few things inside this. First is a context, that is private val We're gonna write context. We also need a list through which we will determine the items that we need. So we will write private val item list, and it will be a list, mutable list of type item. Right. Now we need to extend this class with a Recyclerview dot adapter, and we will fill this part in a moment after creating the viewholder class for here. So inside this class, we need the viewholder for this item. So we will write class item viewholder, and we will pass, just a second. We need to extend this with the Recyclerview dot viewholder, and we need view here, and we're gonna pass this view here, right? And with that we can just pass this thing, this adapter, that type of the view holder we will be using. So we will write item view holder here, and still there are some things that are over here, like it needs to do a few things. I will get to that part, but first I want to address these views that we will use. So we will be using this image view and these two text views. And to give you a better idea, I'm just gonna name this sample name, and this text will be some number. Right. So this will look like a contacts list, right? So let's get back. So we have our item icon. So we can just write val item icon. I'm gonna use the same name to avoid confusion, and it will be the type of image view, and we will write view dot item icon. Since we are using that Kotlin extensions thing, so we can just address them like this. We also need the item name, that will be of type text view, and we can address it just like the same item name. And we also have val item number, which is of type text view again, which we can address from val item dot number, right? So now we have the views that we will address. Now let's override the functions that is causing this error, right? So if you click here, it is written implement members. So if you click that, there are these three functions that you need to override. So you just select them all and click OK. And now we have these three functions that are overridden and are written to do. That means they need to be done. So first we will get rid of the most easy one, that is the override function get item count. How will we get the item count? We will just return the item list size. So how do we do that? It's simple. We just write here return item, item list dot size. See, it matches, it is integer type. Now to make this easier, to make it a bit more smarter, we can just do this. We can just remove these braces. We can remove this integer type here, and we can also remove this return statement and just simply write equals to. It is much easier, right? Okay, so we have the I get item count here. Now we need the on create view holder thing. So over here, what we will do is we'll need a layout first. So first we will write val layout. Let's just write it item layout equals to. We will need to use this context here. So we can just write context dot. Okay, no, just a second. I'm missing something here. Uh, just a moment. So this will be goes to layout inflated. Okay, sorry, I got remember just now. So it will be context dot. It will be layout inflated. Layout inflated dot from, pass the context that we have, dot inflate. Now we need the resource ID, that is this item layout. So we can just simply write r dot layout dot item underscore layout, and we also need a view group, right? So this is the parent. So we can just write parent here, and it also asking if we want to attach it to the root. We can just pass false here, and that's it. Now we simply return item view holder and item layout. So we are using this object with this constructor. We can return this item view holder, which we are just inflating from the layout importer using the context that we passed in the item adapter. Now, this all sounds really confusing at the moment, but just bear with it. It will be real fun. Now, let's get to the other part. So we need. So now this is the fun part. It's Onbindviewholder. What happens here is every time an item is recycled, the views need to be updated, right, with the value in the list. So we will need the item that we're addressing. So I'm just gonna address it with val item equals to, we will take the item list here, item list, and we will have the already have the position here from the focus from the signature here. So we can just write position. So now we have a reference to the item that we will be creating the view for, that is updating the view for. So to address these views of this holder, we just need to write holder dot, and you can see we have these three views: the text views, the image view, and another text view. So first with the item name, so we can write holder dot item name dot text equals to item dot name. Since we using this here, so we can just address them here like this. And for the number, we can write holder dot item number dot text equals to, sorry, item dot number. And as per the icon ID, we are going to use holder dot item icon dot set image resource. We're going to write item dot icon ID. So with this, we are providing the icon ID that we will pass over here, that will be stored here, and we can simply use it. So right now our adapter is ready actually. If we don't want to use an interface that will allow us handling clicks with the item, the recycler adapter is more or less ready. So let's just get into the main activity that is here, and let's add a recycler view. Before adding a recycler view, I also want to add a small thing, but let's add the recycler view first. So we have this recycler view here. We can just drag and drop it here. We will constrain it. I'm not constraining it to the bottom yet. That is for a reason. And we need, okay, let's constrain it to the bottom. Let me show you how the list looks first, and then I will show you how adding an element to the another item in the list will look like. So I have been blabbering for a long, and there are no questions. Okay. So we have match parent, yeah. So the main activity doesn't need anything else at the moment. So let's just get in the Kotlin file here. So first of all, we need to, oh, we also need to give an ID to the recycler view. Let's just call it, um, let's call this recycler view only for now because there is only one over here. So it is named recycler view. So first of all, we need a list of items. For the adapter to work, we need to pass a context that we can pass with this. Okay. And for the item list, we need to create a list of items. So first of all, and also for the list, we need some images. So we don't have any images here, so we can just create some vector assets. That will be super quick. So to create vector assets, we can just go to in this drawable here and we can right click over here, click new and go to vector asset. Now we are getting this Android here by default. I want to use this one, so I'll just give this a color and call this 64 dp. Now we can obviously choose some icons from here, but I want to use this one, so I am not changing it. So let's just call it IC_Android. Okay, just to make it simple. And opacity is 100%, everything is fine. So just click next and finish. And we have this icon here. And this is a vector asset, so no matter how big or small you make it, it won't be pixelized. It is really fun. It's really cool. Now let's add some more vector assets. I will be adding an happy face, that will be the emoji one. Let's change the color as well. Make this red or something. And let's give this a 64 dp size. It isn't necessary because vector assets will not be pixelized, but let's see. I'm just calling it happy. In case you are using wrap content, their size will be taken in matter. They will matter that time. So we have the icon happy and we'll create one last. So let's just go and add a user. Okay. Account, yeah. We're gonna use this one. And we will give this blue color. Let's just call this icon underscore user. Next. And finish. So now we have 3 images with us. So we can create a few things over there with a few contacts, let's say. So first of all, let's make the list. So we are gonna write val items because item is singular, items is plural, equals to mutable list of. We are making this mutable list because we will be adding a few more over here. List of. Now it asks the type of the object, it will be a list of. So I'm gonna write item. And we're gonna skip it like this. We can add the items from here only, but I want to use the items.add. And over here we can just write item. We'll use the constructor. So for the constructor needs a name, a number, and icon resource ID. So let's use the Android one first. Let's call the name Android name. Let's call the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's just a sample. It's a sample data. Don't think too much about it. And for the resource ID, we're gonna use rar dot drawable dot icon underscore Android. And then you can see it also shows a little preview of the icon you are choosing actually. Again, we will write the same thing over and over again. So I'm just gonna copy this and I'm gonna paste this a few times. Wasn't a good copy. So let's just change this to happy name. Change the icon to icon underscore happy. And for this one, we will name username. Let's just change it to icon underscore user. So I don't need these two. We're gonna copy this a few times actually. So we added 2 more times this thing. So there are about 9 items in the list right now. So let's add this thing to the adapter, right? So first of all, we will address this recycler view. So that is recycler view dot adapter equals to, we're gonna use this item adapter now. Item adapter, we need a context so that we can pass with this. This is the main activity, is the context. And for the item list, we are gonna pass this items. Okay, so the adapter is ready. We also need a layout manager so that it doesn't crashes. So we will just write recycler view dot layout manager equals to linear layout manager, and we're going to pass the context this. And finally, just to be on the safe side, we will just call the dot adapter dot notify dataset change. And since it has no way to know if this thing is not null, we are just going to add a null safety here. It will work, don't worry. And let's run it, shall we? It work, and still don't see anything. So that's building. Just from deep sleep. And there you have it. Now it looks really ugly, right? It looks real ugly. There are no padding, no margin, but we have the items. And I can't really explain why this yet. Let me just fix a few things. So I was wrong about one thing. I'm sorry. This was supposed to be match parent. And we're gonna add a bit margin so that we can make out the differences. So we're just gonna get a margin of 2 dp, or let's say 3 dp. This should be fine. And that's pretty much it, I think. Okay, let's try it one more time. So yeah, now you can see there are a lot of items and it is a scrollable list. There are no more items over here, so it's no, it is not scrolling much. It isn't recycling anything. Remember, for recycler view, views will be recycled only when they are not visible in the screen. So when I'm scrolling up, there are more items. I will add a few more items in a second. When this item will be not visible in the screen, this view holder will be recycled. That is, this same thing will come down over here, and according to the list's data, the views will be updated. Like the icon will change, the name will change, the color will change. So to do that, let's add a few more items first, or shall we just? Okay, let's add a. Let's just copy paste this one. Okay, so it will be a lot more items, and you can just turn it in. And as you can see, there are a lot more items here. They're supposed to be items. Now, what happens when I'm scrolling up? The moment this Android name, this view is going out of the screen, when it is not visible, it is recycled and added to the bottom. So when I am scrolling up now, this view is updated to this happy name. That means this icon is changed, the text is changed, and this number is also changed. I haven't changed the number here, so it is just showing the same, but it is also updating that. And also when I am scrolling down, whenever this thing is not visible in the screen, it is being recycled and added over here. So when I'm again scrolling down, this is the same thing. I click here. Okay, sorry for the notification. Now, this doesn't looks much. There isn't much to do in this app, right? So let's just add a few things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this bottom constraint. I'm going to add a horizontal linear layout here. And Okay, it's came inside the recycler view, sorry. And I will do this to the bottom. I will also constrain it to sides. And I am going to add 3 image views inside the linear layout. No, not this one, this icon Android, this icon happy, and this icon user. Now why I'm adding them, I will tell you in a moment. Okay, one more thing, I think I missed one thing, that is I didn't change it to 64. So this will be 64 dp, this will be 64 dp, this will be 64. I left it default back then, so it isn't same. Now it is fine. It is looking fine, but if I just rebuild it, I think I did wrong area. Give me a second. It's just do this 64 dp. Yeah, it is fine now. Okay, so this thing is overlapping, so we obviously need to. Where is it? Bottom to bottom of parent, right? Oh, it is layout height should be wrap content. Yeah. And for the recycler view, content will be here. Okay, just give me a second. We need to bottom layout constants, bottom to top of. Oh, I have to give this an ID, right? That is why it isn't working. It is. It has an ID. Sorry. Bottom to top of ID linear layout. Okay. And for the height, we are just gonna say match constraint, so it will be adjusting itself. Same for this. We want the width to match constraint. And for this, we're gonna add a bit margin first. Let's just give it a 5 dp margin. We can just add a bit more, like 8 dp margin. Just give it a padding of 2 dp. And for these, let's give them an yes. So let's just name this Android button. Okay, now let's just call this add Android. Let's call this add happy, and let's call this add user. And I'm going to give them a background just in case. So easy, and I need to give them a margin, and the margin will be 5 dp. So they're much more distinct now. Okay. One more thing, if you want an image view to be clickable, you just search in the attributes clickable and just enable this. So now you can just attach on-screen listeners to it. You can programmatically change it as well, but it's fine. Now I want to address these over here. So let's just say add Android. Let's add a instruction. Dot set on click listener. And after doing that, we can just change the items list from here, and it will be an Android, right? So let's just copy this. We'll just copy this constructor here, and we will notify the recycler view adapter user null safety. that there is a dataset change. So we'll just write notify dataset changed. Same with the add. So we'll just copy this set on the listener part. Add happy, like that. And for add user, same thing. We will just change this icon to icon underscore happy and the name to happy name. We can also change the number to make it a bit more distinct, and this to username and this to icon underscore user and the number to anything. Yeah. So every time you click a button, click these buttons. If you click the Android one, a new item for Android will be selected. Now, to make it clear, I also want to do this. That is recyclerview.adapter dot not adapter dot scroll to position, and where the position will be items dot size -1, because the size will be obviously greater than 1, so we'll just do items -1. So we'll just copy and add this here and here. So once that is done, let's see if this works. There might be issues debug it if there are. So as you can see, the app is launched now, and there are these 3 buttons here, basically images, but they will be our buttons. So if I click this happy face, you see there is an happy image added. If I click a blue one, a blue is added. Android, and it is when I click again Android, another Android is added. If I click this, yeah. Now to make this a little bit better, we can write smooth scroll to position. This will look a bit better. Just a pro tip. You think about it though. And we can just do this. Now it is here. So let's just add this. See, it is scrolled. Again, it is scrolling, but it since it was really quick. Now this is what Recyclerview is. Now over here you can also implement one more thing, that is you can implement these items being clicked. Now it is not, I think it isn't in your stratagems part, but I may just show it to you because it is super easy. You just need to add an interface to your adapter, and you have to extend it in your main activity as well. So how it works is you go to your item adapter, you create an interface, and let's name it item like listener. Basically, you're creating your own listener, right? And inside this, you just write the functions you need. So we need a function on item click, and we don't pass anything, or maybe we just pass the position. Okay. And we need to create this here. So after, we can just write val item click listener equals to context as item click listener. Okay. So, and we need to obviously see. I think I missed a few things here. Item click listener. And I think, oh yeah, there is a spelling mistake. Sorry. That's it. Context as item click listener. Okay. And over here, we can just write holder dot item view dot set on click listener. And we can just call these item click listener dot on item click and the position. And the fun part is, in this way, you can give a lot of control to your main activity or wherever you are using the adapter to use this click listener. So you are just saying that this function should be executed. Now, what is inside this function? We will define it over the place we are using it. So to use this interface, we have to just simply go here. Along with this app complete activity, we will extend this item click listener, and we see there is an error. It's because we have to implement this one item click. So we will have to override it. So we click implement methods, click on one item click and click OK. And there we have it. Now, for now, I just want to show a post message, and there will be the context, and the text will be clicked at position, and we can just inline string here position. This is spelling mistake. And if we run it now, and so we have all these items. Now, if I click here, you can see clicked at position 0, since you know the indexing starts from 0, right? We have 17 items. There are 18 items. The last one is at 17. So if we add a few more items and click them, see the position has changed to 20, 21, 17. The toast takes time to update. So for now, I have just implemented a toast, but you can do any other thing. Like we can just remove the item entered position as well. Like if I just, instead of toast, I can just write items. And well, to implement that, we need the items outside. So I will just declare it over here. You can address it from there as well. So now we can just write items dot remove at, and it was the position, that is this. And we also have to do is recyclerview dot adapter dot notify data change. So what this will do is, where whichever item we click, so here is the thing. So now if I click an item, it is gone. It is just deleted, just like that. We can just delete everything in the list, right? So it is empty now, nothing there, and we can again just add items the way we want, and the list is populated. And if we click them again, they're gone. So that's pretty much what I want to talk about Recyclerview today. There isn't anything else. There are a lot of uses of this Recyclerview. Like if you're making a news application, so you can have a thumbnail and the news and the headlines of the news, and it's a little bit of the preview of the news there. You can build a messaging app using Recyclerview, like your messages. Each messages will be a Recyclerview item. You can just use an adapter to format the items like that. Okay, there is that. You can also, now for these items right now, have hard coded them, right? All these items have hard coded them, but for in your case, in your use cases, it might come from your share. It might come from anywhere. It can come from another activity. You can populate the list from a database. You can just get the values and just create an object and just add them to the list and populate it. And that's pretty much it. There are a lot of uses. You will have to use Recyclerview one time or another, because it's just how relevant it is. So that's pretty much it for today. I don't think we have any questions today. So thanks. I will stop sharing my screen. And that will be pretty much it. So if you guys have any question, you can drop in the chat. I will be happy to answer them. So there's that. So we don't have any questions. I think we won't be having any questions probably. Then- So that's it for today. I think it's time to end the stream for today. Thank you.